Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a while since I've done one of these. uh, yes, hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am the Immortal Cave and sayingwetrust.blogspot.ca, and as usual, I'll put a link to my blog in the description. To the people clicking on the link from my blog, I apologize. I still don't think I've gotten that problem figured out yet, but nonetheless, the link is still there, so I'll always put a link, definitely. Anyway, for the people who are just watching it off of this and have no idea what the hell I'm talking about, I'm a blogger, and if this is the first time you've ever seen one of my videos, pretty much all I do is just talk on these, ramble, come off of, just say whatever comes off the top of my head usually about what I just saw, the first reaction that I just saw. 9 times out of 10, this is Doctor Who. In fact, with the exception of, I think once, which was The World's End last year. Yeah. Uh, most all of them are Doctor Who. Speaking of, actually, for those looking forward to my Doctor Who review, it's going to be 2 days late. It's not going to be on Saturday when the episode premieres, because I'm going to be working that day, and I'm going to miss it. But, fortunately, the theater near me is actually doing the theatrical showing of it. So, yeah, come Monday night, I'm going to see it, I'm going to give a review of it, and then everything should continue well, I hope. I might skip one or two because, again, work, but I'll figure something out, nonetheless. Anyway, I just saw Guardians of the Galaxy, and it was, by a long shot, the biggest, stupidest, and most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life. I'm going to say spoilers right now, just because I'm just going to start talking, and I'm not going to know when to stop, or when to warn, or whatever. General consensus, if you're not looking for the smartest movie on the face of the earth, it's not what I would call a smart movie. It's not like, this is not Inception 2. You're not getting Inception 2. You don't have to think about what's going on screen. You just have to watch what's going on screen, and you're pretty good. But I'm going to say right now, if you don't mind a movie being just kind of action-based, it's good Michael Bay. Let's put it that way. It's good Michael Bay. It's good Michael Bay. It's Michael Bay if he didn't suck. By the way, do not go see TMNT or Transformers 4 or anything else that he puts his name on, because after that comment he made about, I realize I'm getting way off track, but after that comment he made about, my movies suck, but everyone's going to go see them anyway, yeah, fuck him. Fuck him hard. By the way, I swear, if you haven't seen any of my videos. Anyway, yeah, I'm, like I said, spoilers from this point on, so if you don't want to get spoiled, don't watch past here, but it is amazing, nonetheless. Anyway, going forward. I kind of knew I was going to love this movie the second I saw the trailer. The very first one, with all the characters being shown off and the little prison thing and saying their descriptions and all that stuff. I think we all kind of knew what we were getting into when we first saw that, and we all kind of knew it was going to be really good. Because, first of all, the soundtrack. I'll get into that first. I'll keep the spoiler stuff to last unless I just blurt something out. The soundtrack is gloriously in itself. I will admit I don't like all the tracks on it. Never really been a huge fan of ABC or whatever the hell the song's called by the Jackson 5. Not a huge fan of that song, to be blunt. Not that it's bad, it's just not my thing. Some of them, though, Hooked on a Feeling's pretty catchy. Though I will admit that Ooga Chaka crap is really stupid. I think I'm the only person who actually thinks that, or I'm one of the few people who actually thinks that. Go smart people who don't, who do think it's stupid. I'm rambling. I do think it's a good song generally, though, aside from the Ooga Chaka crap. The rest of it, very good. It fit well, but it also had that very just glorious kind of thing to it, where it was so into itself, but at the same time it didn't come off as self-serving or self-indulgent. It was just kind of like, this is awesome music, go listen to it. Enough said. Which I can respect the hell out of, so enough said. Anyway, what else do we have here? Alright, let's actually just go screaming into the plot. Um, which screaming into the plot is a very good way of wording it because the plot never stops. Or the movie never stops, I should say. The plot. I will say this: the first 5 minutes. Holy shit! That is a. That was the first. Like that is the biggest bait and switch I've ever seen. The first 5 minutes are the saddest I've ever seen in a Marvel movie. And admittedly, I haven't seen some of the newer ones. Like I think past Avengers, I haven't seen anything. But that's again aside the point. Um, until this, which again thumbs up. But again, I'm kind of rambling. I do that. But anyway, uh, right. It's like I haven't seen anything this quite this depressing or quite this sad or quite this emotional and well done emotional, might I just say. It was actually very heartbreaking. The first 5 minutes, where you see Star Lord Peter Quill, I think his name is. Um, his mother passes away from what we can only assume is cancer, and it's heartbreaking, you know. And when you see him, and then the very next scene, like after that, is him walking into this old thing and getting that little trinket we see in all the trailers, and he's listening to the same uh, Walkman that he had as a kid. And I gotta say, like it paints an interesting picture for this character. I have to admit, because his behavior is it's very childlike, but at the same time, it's incredibly funny. I'll say that right now, the entire movie is incredibly funny. I think everybody got a good laugh out of me. Um, but yeah, it just paints such an interesting picture because you know that there's this very deep, dark kind of sentimentality to it, to to Star Lord, to Quill, and but at the same time, he's this very cartoonish kind of guy, and he reminds me so much of me because he just the one scene where he like holds up the orb where he's about to give it to this traitor. He just holds it up and he drops it for a second. He picks it back up and he just gets back into position, and it's the most glorious thing because it's eerily like something I would do. So number one, I love the character Star Lord. I'm just gonna say that right now. But after that 5 minutes and after you see him get that, the movie just doesn't stop. Like it just keeps going and going and going and going, and it takes like quick breaths every now and then. But most movies would have like one action scene and then a fairly long lull and then an action scene and then a fairly long lull. Like I'm thinking of the Star Wars movies specifically. This one is kind of like pretty big action scene, quick lull, just to kind of take a breath. Okay, you good? Okay, now more, and I'm fine with that. First of all, it does make the movie kind of blend together. Like I can't really think of any specific moments in the movie off the top of my head, aside from a couple of one-liners, which, to be fair, the movie is built off of a lot of one-liners, but um, all of the so that really is my review of the plot. Is it exists? It's a big dumb movie. The plot's not that important, which is why I'm not going to spoil any of the major stuff. For those keeping up with the Marvel universe, um, Ronan was a pretty good villain, I think. But they did show Thanos, and whoo, he's a big boy. Yeah, I can see him being the big head honcho behind like Avengers 3 or something like that. I want to see that, and I really want to see some of the Guardians of the Galaxy show up in some of the other Marvel stuff. Seriously, put Robert Downey Jr. and a CGI raccoon together. If you did not just go, that's pretty good, or oh my god, that's awesome, or why haven't they done that yet, or something of that sort, um, then I think I need to repeat myself. Robert Downey Jr. and a CGI raccoon. But anyway, Um, but they really do need to cross over. But that's aside the point. Uh, all of the characters are so good. Um, like I said, Star Lord, probably my favorite character in a Marvel movie so far. Cause he's got that sentimental side to him, like I said, and he's got a lot. He's a brave dude. I think he almost killed himself like 2, 3 times in that movie. Like certain death, killed himself, and he still just ran screaming towards it. I love that type of character that's just like doesn't think about it, doesn't do anything. He's just charges head on. Love that. Love it. Love it. Love it. Um, who else? Drax. Drax was the one character when I was looking at all of the stuff for this movie that I wasn't sure about. When I saw Dave Bautista, a professional wrestler, not only give me a lot of really good emotions and whatnot from this, I was very surprised. But it wasn't just the emotions, it was the fact that he's incredibly funny. He's a very good actor, surprisingly. Like, you think professional wrestling, you think acting, you think really hokey. That was really good. That was incredibly good. Like, surprisingly good. Maybe not the best actor on the face of the earth, but hey, it's a big dumb movie. He did his job sparingly. It was really impressive. And the character was really good too. It's a very simplistic character who doesn't, he doesn't know metaphor. He doesn't know anything like that. So and I think I'm directly ripping off the Walker brothers. Doug and Rob, the Nostalgia Critic. Those guys. That guy with the glasses. Those guys. When I say this, but it fits so perfectly. When you hear him call you his friend, it means so much more. Because he doesn't take anything at anything but face value. So it means a lot more. So when he said that, I was kind of like, oh, that's actually very nice. Groot. Groot is most people's favorite character. My favorite is Rocket. I'll get to Rocket. Actually, my favorite is Star-Lord. Rocket's also awesome. I was kind of flipping back and forth between those two the whole movie. But anyway, Groot's awesome. Vin Diesel's awesome because he recorded I Am Groot in every language the movie is being released in and did multiple inflections. It's 3 words, 4 words technically when you see his death scene and, well, his kind of resurrection, which was actually awesome. But that's aside the point. And I had to admit, I was actually kind of like, okay. When I think a friend of mine actually who was with me in the theater actually said it best when he said, the less words Vin Diesel has to say, the better. Because, think about it. Guardians of the Galaxy, Iron Giant. Am I wrong? Anyway. Groot was awesome. Groot was very good. He did his job splendidly, and I will admit there was 1 or 2 moments where I was just like, okay, you're trying a little hard to get the emotional stuff going. When he was just being like a simple-minded tree guy, that was awesome. When he was actually trying to get like when he made like little fireflies or fire plant things or whatever come out of him, and it was this really beautiful moment. I kind of thought they were trying a little too hard there. And that was literally that and his death scene. I think they were trying a little too hard. And that's about it. Past that, I actually think he was very good. Gamora? I was referring to Gamora as the other character before this. Because I was just like, Drax. Look, I kind of had Dave Bautista to have me focus on him. Because I was just like, the hell? The hell is, Dave Bautista doing in a Marvel movie? And, Star-Lord always just got that really big laugh out of the trailer, and then Rocket Raccoon is a CGI raccoon. And Groot was obviously this gigantic guy. Gamora was the one character I never remembered the name of until this movie, until I actually saw it. Now I can't forget it, because she was actually really good. I'm going to say this right now. This is the first movie I've ever seen where I don't think there was one character I didn't like. Because even a movie that I said was my favorite for the longest amount of time, now I'm not sure if it's this or The World's End, but Shaun of the Dead, had one character I hated, and they gloriously killed him off, and that's probably why I always kind of ignore that. But yeah, he was a prick. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. He was a prick. But every character in this was amazing. Even Gamora, who was the least interesting, was still interesting enough that I was just like, I like this character. I don't want to see anything bad happen to them. And I am legitimately like, I like this character. I think she does a very good job. I cannot think of the actress's name to save my goddamn life, but she did a very good job. And then we come to Rocket. Everyone's favorite character, Rocket Raccoon. He's my second favorite character next to Star-Lord. And Drax is a fairly close third, but Rocket just, he stole the show. He really did. So many funny moments. So many great lines. So many great, just everything. And you know what? He had a couple of good emotional moments, too. Again, Groot's death, his involvement in it was kind of like, oh, look, the raccoon's crying. But the moments he did have were genius. Like, they were very funny, and he was just very effective, too. Just every single one of them was so great. They served their purpose so well. And I really don't have anything else to say about the characters other than just they're really good. The side characters are fantastic. I cannot think of the general's name, but he was basically Star-Lord's boss for the longest time. But he had like this weird little arrow thing that he controlled by whistling. And he basically took out an entire army by whistling, which was badass, by the way. Everyone's a badass in that movie, too. But I can't think of his name, and I can't think of who he's acted by, but I know, or who he's played by, I should say. But I know he's really damn good. Like, everybody's really good. Bradley Cooper, the voice for Rocket, which, by the way, his last name's Cooper. He plays a raccoon. I have to make a Sly Cooper joke, but I'm not sure where. So just add yours in. Anyway, but yeah, just all the characters are fantastic. All of the side characters are fantastic. Glenn Close, who plays Nova Prime, awesome. She didn't even have that many lines, but she was awesome. All the other characters, I cannot think of the name of that one guard that you saw in the first trailer as well. I cannot think of his actor, but he was really good. Everybody was really good. I think that's kind of the general thing. I think that is really the one problem I had with it was, like I said, those two scenes. And the fact that it was so consistent, nothing stood out. Like, there was not one moment where I was like, I can pick this out and go, that was really good, or that was really good, or whatever. It all kind of just blends together, which is the one problem I have with it. But other than that, it was damn good. It did its job fantastically of being a big, stupid movie. And it did it so well. And, you know, all of the different little metaphors that you could actually, or not metaphors, my brain's gone. Anyway, all of the little references that you could see. The very end, the end credit scene has Howard the Duck in it. Howard the Duck. That's going way back in Marvel's history. And now that's canon, by the way, yeah. And I've heard somebody say that they could say Beta Ray Bill, which was this weird, like, horse dog thing that took over for Thor for a while. I don't understand. I'm still trying to get over Throg. But anyway, which is a frog, Thor, by the way. I really like that movie, though. Like, I won't say it's my favorite movie ever. I might say that's my favorite Marvel movie. If only because not really one of them has been that deep. I don't think. Captain America came pretty close, and I still think it might be my favorite. But this comes damn close just because it knows what it wants to be. It knows what it is. And it's a big, dumb, stupid, glorious action movie. It's not trying to be anything else. It doesn't want to be anything else. It's just a big, dumb, stupid action movie, and it does it so well. And that's all I can really say about it, is just that it does what it does well, and it does it beautifully. So, you know, if you've been paying attention to me for the last 20 minutes, Jesus Christ, I can rant, then, go see this movie. If you haven't already, you should have. You know. And by the way, I have to point this out because I mentioned Rocket earlier. This is the main reason why Marvel's doing so well. I saw a picture on Facebook that said something like, "The world isn't ready for a Wonder Woman movie, but here's a CGI raccoon." This is why Marvel's always going to do better with the movies than DC is. DC's animated stuff is great, but come on. They're too chicken to make a Wonder Woman movie, and yet Marvel's is like, here's Guardians of the Galaxy, the biggest bunch of just idiots on the face of the earth. I think every single person in that movie called each other idiots at some point. Excuse me. And they're all right. And, it's this biggest group of outcasts. It's not mainstream at all. Unless you jokingly saw Rocket Raccoon once and went, the hell, Marvel? And then they saw this movie and they're just like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. So, DC, make a Wonder Woman movie. Make a Flash movie. Make a Green Lantern movie that doesn't suck. Speaking of Ryan, what's-his-face? Ryan Reynolds. He better not have anything to do with that Deadpool movie. That's rumored. I realize I'm just ranting now. I don't even care. Goddamn. Just, let's not go near Origins. I know Days of Future Past did some kind of like a grand reboot, or like a grand Deus Ex Machina to reverse everything, but still. Anyway, I think I've ranted on long enough. Great movie. Go the fuck see it. It's amazing. And what else? Yes, my deep breath review will be stalled for another 2 days. For 2 days after the premiere, because I'm going to see it in theaters, which is badass. Yay. Anyway, have a good day, guys. And, yeah, I'm still working on my reviews. I'm still working on some of my written stuff. I'm going to do a written review for Danganronpa. Trigger Happy Havoc for the PS Vita, because that might be my favorite game of all time. Spoilers, it's awesome. Anyway, I shall see you guys on another day. I shall see you guys on Monday, actually. So, have a good one. If you like this, comment, subscribe, post, whatever. Do whatever makes you happy, because I know I am after that big, stupid movie. Thank you, and have a good night.